Hello, 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 hello. Hey, I never know. I can't tell sometimes whether we're up or not, whether we're live or not. But here I am. So, and here you are. And, so stick with me for a couple of minutes. I'll try to make this quick. And do you know it's Sunday afternoon. It's a beautiful day in my town of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We're at 3,500 feet here, and it's snowing. It can actually snow here any month of the year. But we put our gardens in a couple of weeks, and pray that we don't get much snow for June, July, and August. And I mean, it never adds up. But anyway, so I wanted to. What came up today was, um, you know, I work with a lot of guys in recovery, and often they it seems like they think that they can just kind of make a decision to turn their will and their lives over to the care of their higher power, of their God, of their understanding, and that should be it. And uh, um, but it says in one of the things it says is that we have a new employer, and being all powerful, he can take care of all of our needs if we stay close to him, perform his work well. Well, how do we stay close to him? How do we, and several years ago, many, maybe more than I would like to say, years ago, I became really aware of the fact that I needed to be like a full-time spiritual student. I needed to bring myself to the study, or to the at least exposure of spiritual principles, and higher vibration thought, and teachers, and so I have done that, especially a lot in the last year and a half or so. I've spent hours and hours and hours. YouTube is so good for us to be exposed to higher vibration thought. I've been listening a lot lately to Krishnamurti. If you don't know who Krishnamurti is, I'll put a link in here somewhere. Like, oh gosh, he's been gone quite some time, and he wasn't a funny speaker. He was just, but he so nailed it. He so nailed it. You see, the difficulty that we have is that we think we know, and from ego we think we know, and we try to run our lives from a very limited perspective of the world, and we don't know, and ultimately the awakening is that we don't know. And so if we don't know, and we start to recognize, what does ego look like? Ego is fear, ego is guilt, ego is shame, ego is resentment. Ego tells us we know. Ego is grandiose. Ego is, um, and so how do we step from there, where we've been most of our lives? And for the alcoholic or the addict, it has been devastating. We're always running from one calamity to the next, and one drama to the next, and there's always something wrong and something to complain about. Somebody to judge, and somebody's doing it wrong, and that's all ego. It's all ego. It's all edging God out. It's all, trying to run the show. And in step one in the recovery program, it says we could not manage our own lives. And who's the we that could not manage our own lives? Well, the we was the limited um, ego me, the guy who thought he knew, who was, wanted something so bad. I remember wanting success in business, or wanting, the relationship. And I watch guys, they come in, they're around for a while, and they're kind of, getting a bit of the feeling. They're like, wow, this feels good. You know, I feel good. They're doing, they maybe did their step five, and they, you know, and then, yeah, just a second. Dawn, I'm online right now, live. No, don't come. Half an hour. You're gonna have to wait for me to finish, love. That's what it's actually exactly what I'm talking about. One of my sponsees, or she's not really my sponsee, but I've been helping her out a bit, and she just literally from drama to drama, just like and because we're always trying to run the show, and we can't tell that we think that we have to do it, and we don't. We just have to turn our will and our lives over to this moment, to this God as we understand him, right? Anyway, it's sometimes sad to watch. It's hard to watch. So here I am. I'm reading some of this stuff on a daily basis, and I just encourage you, like I really encourage you to absorb yourself in these higher vibration thoughts, whether it's a Course of Miracles, whether it's a 12-step program that you really dive into. Half measures avail us nothing, honestly. You know, and or that there's so many other teachings. There really is. I've listened to hours and hours and hours of Muji lately, and I just mentioned Krishnamurti and Ram Dass and David Hawkins. I've read all of his books. I've studied his stuff, and none of that hurts to go deep into these philosophies and to recognize that they all eventually point to one thing: is that we can't. It isn't the teachings that save our ass. It's that we let go of this whole idea of thinking that we know, and we learn to live in the moment. We learn to live life from intuition. With a God consciousness, right? Okay. So I'm just going to read this. I think I'm on. I've been reading from the Tao Te Ching, and I've kind of gone on for a few minutes here, telling you that like it doesn't come. You have to really want it, in a way. It says knock and the door will be open, but you really you really have to say yes, please. Impeach universal intelligence. Be really strong with it. Okay. So I think I'm on number 5. Am I on number 5 or number 6? I'm number 6. Okay, it's very short. The Tao is called the Great Mother. The Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty but inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. The Tao is called the Great Mother. I love it. The Tao is called the Great Mother. What a great thing to be for Mother's Day. The Tao is called the Great Mother, empty yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. Wow, I love that. It's beautiful for Mother's Day, isn't it? Because this is in North America anyway. We celebrate Mother's Day today. This Sunday must be like the second Sunday of May is Mother's Day. Okay. So that's it. Love you guys. Oh, no. Actually, he does a little interpretation at the back. So of what I just read. Yes. Okay. Here it is. First stanza, literally. The spirit of the valley never dies. It is called the mysterious female. The gate of the mysterious female is the root of heaven and earth. Chow Has said. The female is one who receives something and, with it, creates. This creative principle is the new marvelous thing in the universe. This creative principle is the most marvelous thing in the universe. Mothers, right? Wow, I love it. The female is one who receives something and, with it, creates. This creative principle is the most marvelous thing in the universe. Beautiful. So we've been reading from the Tao Te Ching, lao-tzu, and the translations from Stephen Mitchell. And that's the reading for the day. And I think I might just read something from Daily Reflections today, too, if you don't mind. May the 6th, May the 9th. May the 9th, Daily Reflections. Walking through fear. If we still cling to something that will not let go, we ask God to help us be willing. When I had taken my 5th step, I became aware of all my defects of character, stemmed from my need to feel secure and loved, to feel secure and loved. To use my will alone to work on them would have been trying, obviously, to solve the problem. In the 6th step, I intensify the action I have taken in the first 3 steps, meditating on the step by saying it over and over, going to meetings, following my sponsor's suggestions, reading and searching within myself. During the first 3 years of sobriety, I had a fear of entering an elevator alone. One day I decided I must walk through that fear. I asked for God's help, entered the elevator, and there in the corner was a lady crying. She said that since her husband had died, she was deathly afraid of elevators. I forgot my fear and comforted her. This spiritual experience helped me to see how willingness was the key to working the rest of the 12 steps to recovery. God helps those who help themselves. There you go. Daily Reflections reading as well. Okay, you guys, the message today from me is, seek, look, through the readings, there's so much on YouTube, if you come to the realization that we must have a spiritual way of living, then it isn't casual. It really is, we must seek earnestly. So that's the deal. Love you. Thanks.